to Jimmy Smith. Everybody just mute yourselves. We're going to just let you mute. And then Jimmy, this is the group of people that is fast tracked to executive. Just kidding. We'll be so blessed hearing from you tonight.
Everybody is fast tracked to executive.
It is, that's right.
Interview.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Everybody else, if you can mute your lines, and then we can get a clear sound on Jimmy.
Now, everybody has made executive?
No, everybody's on a track to executive. This is a group that's running over the 90-day game plan to run their businesses to executive. They're committed and they're driving. Drivers in our business.
Well, what I would say to all of you, that you're at the right place at the right time. I'm hearing an echo, Jessica.
I'm hearing an echo too, and I'm not quite sure why. What would be the reason why there'd be an echo?
I kept getting kicked out. I was just calling in on the phone. I was just calling in on my phone.
Jess, can you mute everybody?
Yes. I haven't worked a mouse. Yeah. I can't use the mouse.
You can do whatever you want to do. Okay. Yeah, when it's time to go to bed. What time is it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Not 10 after 9?
Okay, that'll mute you. But then he's gonna unmute himself. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Where do you see him? You gotta go to Jay. James Smith. I can't use that mouse. There you go. There you go. James Smith, yeah. Unmute him. Unmute. Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Jimmy. You got this.
Okay. So everybody's going for executive. Is that correct?
That's right. Exactly.
Well, that's perfect. That's the right thing to do. And I want all of you to know this company is a shooting star within this industry. You're working with the best compensation plan in the entire industry. You're working with the best products in the entire industry. And you're working with the best upline and support team in the entire industry. And there's nothing to stop you from going right to the top. And believe me, when I started this company 14 years ago, I never, beyond my wildest dreams, could ever dream or imagine what has happened to myself, my entire family. And the best thing I can tell you, this works. This product works. This compensation plan works. And the only way you can fail is to quit, to stop taking the product and stop talking to people. As long as you continue to take the product every day, let your body tell you what it does for you, and share the product with every single person you come in contact with. Share the opportunity. You owe it to those people. You owe it to anybody you care about. I'm so glad I didn't run an ad in the paper. I'm so glad when I got into Isogenics 14 years ago, the first two people I sponsored in were my two daughters, one on the right and one on the left, because that's prime real estate. Right up there underneath the people you sponsor, when you come in, the people you put on the right and left, the first few people, that's prime real estate. And today, not just as Jimmy the Butcher multimillionaire, but his two daughters, the first two people sponsored, are multimillionaires as well. I'm not saying, telling you that to impress you, but to impress upon you what you have here. When I started out 14 years ago, This company was not near the company it is today. Back then, there was no millionaires. There was no tools. There was no social media. There was no Zoom. There was no cell phones. It was really, really hard, and we only had the 9-day. So the message I'm trying to give to you, I want to give it to you tonight, is this is the best time to be in Isagenix. This is the best time to be in network marketing. Network marketing sales are growing at the rate of 7% a year. And last year, Isagenix did $892 million. We grew 41%. So if the industry is growing 7% and our company is growing 41%, that tells you if you want to grow, you have to be in a company that's growing. If you're in a company that's regressing, you're going to regress. This company is growing. It's the fastest growing network marketing, at least one of them. It's in the top 3 in the industry. And it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. And all of you are on the ground floor. You're at the right place at the right time. You have to know you're there, and you have to get into action. And what's the price you have to pay to be successful? The price you have to pay is how many people are you willing to talk to on a daily basis. When I started Isagenix 14 years ago, if I wasn't talking to somebody on the phone or face-to-face or doing a presentation, I was like a fish out of water. I talked to everybody. I talked and talked. I got no after no after no after no. I got some yeses. The yeses built my business. The no's built my character. I'm looking at some very young faces there, and I'm saying to myself, oh my God, if I had this at your age, I didn't get this. I didn't find this till I was 74. I want to tell you this. I've done so many other companies. You name it, Amway, Shaklee, American News. Somebody said to me, how many companies have you been in, Jimmy? I said, how much time do you have? I will tell you this. This is the best company I've ever been part of. For 14 years, I worked really hard in network marketing. I made about $2 million. 14 years in Isagenix, over $55 million. That might be a clue. Not to impress, but once again, to press upon you. That might be a clue. All them other companies, I worked just as hard. I was just as passionate, just as dedicated. When I found Isagenix, I was making $5,000 a week in another company and walked away from it. I walked away from $5,000 a week at age 74. Everybody thought I was crazy. Today, they think I'm a genius. And you stay the course, and one day they'll think all of you are geniuses as well. This company is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. The industry, there's over 100 million people worldwide in this industry right now. It's over 185 billion in sales, and they're paying back 85 billion to us, the distributors. That's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger. Network marketing for the last 6 years has been steadily growing. And last year went up about 7% above the year before. So the fast start track is the only way to go. Go for executives, the only way to go. Go for executive. Teach your people to go for executive. And I'll tell you, if everyone made executive, if everybody made consultant, here's what you have to understand. An executive is someone who has 5 consultants on the right and 5 consultants on the left, correct? What do you have to do to make executive? You have to get 10 consultants. So what's the most important rank in this company? Consultant. When you sponsor somebody, in Webster's dictionary, the word sponsor means take responsibility for their success. That doesn't mean you do it for them. You don't do it for them. You help them. You be there for them. You share, you help, you teach. Teach, support. That's what's going on right now. You're being supported. This Zoom call was created by Jessica and her team, Denise, the whole team, Lori. And this is this is action. This is being in action. You can't help someone if they don't let you. You can't help someone if they don't ask you. And you can't help someone if they don't help themselves. So talk to people. Be very proud. Hold your head up high. You're in a profession called network marketing. It's a noble profession. And to me, this is the best business model I've ever seen in the history of the world. As a matter of fact, my organization, my total organization consists of 1,250,000 people. They spend $10 million every week on these products, wholesale value, 7 million BB. We don't, as a family, we don't see or touch any product. We don't see or touch any money. We have no employees, no accounts receivable, no stores. The company takes the orders from every one of those people, fulfills the order, ships the product out, collects the money, takes their piece of the pie, and gives us our share every Tuesday in our checking account. There's no other business model like that in the whole world. I rise to meet my schedule. I can do whatever I want to do. I can go wherever I want to go. And please don't wait till you're 88. Get it while you're young. If someone had showed this to me when I was 30 or 40, I would have been rich by 50. But it's okay. It doesn't make any difference. My thing is now I feel obligated to share this with as many people as I possibly can. To have something like this, to work as hard as I did for 40 years and make as little as I made, raise 6 children, send them to Proctor School, help them get weddings and get married and get in houses. Then I find this. I said, oh my God, why didn't I find this 30 years, 40 years ago? But it's okay. It's here for my kids. It's here for my grandkids. I love getting texts from my granddaughter pop-up. I just cycled 16 times this week. I just rank advanced. Papa, I was just making something. Papa, I love it. It's just like all my 6 children, my 28 grandchildren, are all doing the business, and the legacy that I dreamed of is taking place. And I want to leave you with this thought. Proverbs 3:27. Do not withhold good from those that deserve it when it's your power to act. When you know this, when you learn this, be a student, learn it, be the best you can, be the best network. Jessica, you're amazing. You learned this. You picked up this industry so quick, and Denise, and so many of you picked up this industry so quick, and you're so successful. I just want to share something with you. My first 14 years in network marketing before Isagenix, I was the equivalent of a 3 or 4 star. Think about that, 14 years. Of course, once I found Isagenix and I applied all those skills I've been honing for 14 years, it didn't take me long to go right to the top. It didn't take me long because I had the experience. So be a student of the industry. Keep learning. Go to every event you can go to. Read everything. Watch every DVD. Listen to every CD. Learn. Practice. Every time you do a presentation, you're practicing. And you have to practice 10,000 hours to be good at anything you want to be good at. And this is no different. I've been practicing for 25 years now. And this right now, I'm practicing again. This is practice for me. And you want to practice, practice, practice. I used to talk to everybody, give everybody a presentation just so I could practice. People used to run from me. They'd see me coming, they would run down. They wait in line to shake my hand and give me a hug. I like this a lot better. So listen, guys, I'll see you all at the top, every single one of you right at the top. ISA Millionaires. Remember, the only way you can fail is to quit.
Jimmy, you're amazing. You're really, truly incredible. Thank you so much for that. Jimmy, if you had to tell people 3 things they should do during the week, let's say that they're part-time. If you had to tell them 3 things they should be doing, what would you tell them?
Well, first of all, I want to say something before I forget. I've been in Isagenix for 14 years. If I didn't make a single dime, and I made a fortune, what I spent on the product, I love what the product has done for me. If I didn't make a dime, I wouldn't regret spending 1 penny on these products. I've been on ownership for 14 years and most of my family. The energy I have today, the way I feel, the way people tell me I look, I have energy. I'm up early in the morning. I go all day. I do these Zoom calls all the time. I had 40 people here Saturday for a training. It went from 11 to 3:30. And I was still going. One person stayed till 6 o'clock. So I stayed till 6 o'clock. But a guy drove overnight from Toronto. He drove overnight. He got in his hotel at 3:30 and was at my house the next morning at 10 o'clock. And he stayed all day for that. He drove all the way down just to be at that presentation. So to answer your question, what you must do every day, of course you must take the product every day. Please take the product every day. Take the product every day. And talk to people. And, don't do like I did in the beginning. I used to throw up on people. But it's very simple. I had verbal diarrhea. I used to go run at the mouth, and people used to say, will you leave me alone? They used to, honest to God, people used to, here he comes again. Wonder what company's in now. But talk to people every day. Share the product. Share the opportunity. Carry products with you. I got calendars I hand out on the information. I got pens I hand out. I got keychains. I pick up 1,000 people every day. I don't have to do this. I'm making $6,500 a day, and I don't have to do this. but I can't stop doing it because I want to share it with everybody. I just can't stop sharing it. And you have to get that fever. If you could do something for 10 years, and a lot of you look very, very young, if you could do something for 10 years, and after 10 years, you could sit back and let the money roll in and do whatever you want. Your kids could go to any university they want. You can buy any car you want. Isn't that worth it? Isn't that worth it? Well, I'm here to tell you, if Jimmy the Butcher can do what I did, you guys can do a lot better. You can, because you're smarter than me, you're younger than me, you're better looking than me, and the company is like, it's like the Rolls Royce of network marketing. There's not another company that even comes close to this company. And that's because the integrity of Jim and Kathy Cooper and Eric Cooper and John Anderson and the corporate office we have, Travis Gars and all. We have, it's like what the Coopers did with this company is mind-boggling. I never dreamt that I would have a company like this ever.
And fabulous.
Oh, Jimmy, you're
Awesome.
amazing. Thank you so much for blessing us with all of this. It's such a pleasure,
Awesome.
privilege to hear from you.
Oh.
Thank you for having me on your call.
Thank you so much. All right, very good. Well, that was Jimmy. I mean, we could basically end now, guys, but we've got some other things to go over, and it's fantastic. And Jimmy, you're welcome to stay and hear some awesome recognition from Janny Elo and Betsy Frame and Lauren Sims and my team. And you'll hear some other training from Jen.
Yeah, the guy that drove down from Canada was in Carol Furlong's downline. I did a three-way with her and him a week or so ago, and he drove down.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yay. Can you just take that off?
Love you,
Really, what a gift.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
What a gift. Thank you so much. Really,
You're welcome.
really love it. So with that, guys, we're going to have Laura Hargreaves up next. Laura's going to do some recognition, shout out some of these people that have already been taking advice, like they've heard from Jimmy, they heard from him on YouTube, and they've heard from some of the other trainers too that have been taking it and taking it to heart. So with that, Laura, are you on? Laura, if you're muted, we're coming at you real quick.
Hey, Jess, why don't she's had to call in because she got kicked off a couple of times, so she's going to get back on her computer. Why don't we
go to Jen Flynn in that case? Because Jen Flynn's going to do our belief right now. Or do you want to do Dr. Mullen?
Sure, I'll do Jamie Mullen. I think she's here and ready.
Okay, very good. Let's do that.
Okay, so you guys, we have Dr. Jamie Mullen, who's going to be talking to us about product right now. She is the mother of Max, who's 3.5, and Mason, who's 10 months. She's the wife of Dr. Bull Mullen for 5 years. She actually achieved an undergraduate in nutrition science and pre-dietetics. And she's also a doctorate of chiropractic. She's living in Gig Harbor, and she loves to see pregnant and pediatric patients more than anything. And since Isagenix came into her life, she realized an even bigger passion of helping people change their health and financial stressors. So Jamie, we're ready for you, girl. Bring it on.
All right, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can, yes.
All right. Hopefully you'll only hear me and not the crazy munchkins in the background for this whole thing. I'll try to go fast. But I'm pretty much just going to tell my quick story and how Isagenix really changed my last month or so, my third trimester of my last pregnancy. My husband, Bo, and I got introduced to Isagenix from another chiropractor, and super skeptical. Anyways, I ended up trying the products, obviously, and I started drinking some of the shakes, and I swear within 2 days, my energy levels were just through the roof. And I looked at Bo. Well, first I started it wrong because I didn't read how you're supposed to do it. I was only using 1 scoop. So now I make sure and tell people, okay, you're using 2 scoops, right? So now then I just started feeling awesome just from the shakes. And I was telling Bo, I was like, I don't know what's in this stuff, but we got to keep using it. And so we quickly just started telling all of our friends and family about it, and now are absolutely in love with it. So I'm just going to kind of go over a couple of big highlights of a few products that are my favorite for pregnant and nursing moms. The ones that I always recommend to anyone getting started on the system, pretty much if I have anybody that's pregnant or nursing, I have them get started on something like the Sports Performance Pack, just because it gives you a couple shakes, a few bars, and the Amped Hydrate. So you got to get those electrolytes in. So I'll kind of go over some of those. Basically, we all know how fabulous the shakes are. For our pregnant and nursing moms, we need anywhere, I tell all my patients to get anywhere from minimum 75 grams of protein a day. I like to try to get a little bit closer to 100 to 125, just because our pregnant moms need that to grow that healthy, strong baby. And then when we're nursing, it's really, really important to get that milk supply up to have that protein in there. So, and also the trace minerals in there is just insane. I think really that's where the energy levels come from. And that is, I mean, it's just unbeatable. You can't find any other product that has all those trace minerals and all the prebiotics and everything that are in the shakes. So definitely every pregnant nursing mom needs to be on the shakes. They're just way too good to pass up. The Amped Hydrate, I think it goes a little, doesn't get enough recognition, especially for our pregnant nursing moms. Hydration is super, super important. I know for me, it was awesome when I was in my like 40-hour-long labor, and it seemed to just never end. And I had, the only thing I could really stomach that whole time was my shake and some Amped Hydrate. So when we're pregnant and nursing, it's just super easy to get dehydrated. And so the water and electrolytes are so important sorry if you can hear the crying baby. But they're super important for everything from temperature regulation to digestion, absorption of nutrient, oxygen transportation, as well as milk production once we are nursing. Lots of people have found that once they do start using an electrolyte drink, it kind of gets them to not only drink more water, which is awesome, but those electrolytes really help us to amp up our milk supply too. So that's awesome. The electrolytes can also really help with morning sickness too, as well as the shakes. One of my cousins, she was having awful morning sickness. And I was like, girl, you got to get some protein in you right before you get to sleep. And if you can, first thing in the morning. So I had her start on some shakes, and within 2 days, she didn't feel nauseous in the morning. She was able to eat first thing just because she was getting that awesome shake and awesome 24 grams of protein right before bed. So that's something that's really important for any moms in their first trimester, to just try to get that protein in right before bed. It really helps with the morning sickness. Something that I think is kind of a little bit of a gray area. Isodynamics doesn't recommend using ionics for pregnant and nursing moms. I did a ton of research on the adaptogens and why they say not to use them and why they might be beneficial. Pretty much in my personal research, I would say pregnant moms not to use it, but nursing moms, use it at your discretion. There's not anything in the ionics that is on the avoiding herbs category for nursing moms. There's a lot of beneficial things that people in Eastern cultures have used for so many years for their pregnant and nursing moms that we just kind of say, we don't know, we haven't studied it, so who knows if it's okay. But clearly everyone over there is doing fine. So adaptogens, we all know, just help to increase our resistance in the body to stressors and help to normalize our physiological function. Just helps to bring our body to homeostasis or balance. So all of the herbs in the ionics are all non-toxic, so that's why we can have, more than just our one ounce serving of the ionics in the morning, because you just basically can't get enough of this stuff. We all know that it helps to improve fatigue. It really helps to decrease that inflammation in our body, which for our nursing moms and just going through a ton of stressors with labor and kind of that early postpartum life, it's huge to get that anti-inflammation property from the ionics, as well as, I'm sure if any of you are moms out there, y'all know there's some fatigue involved, and if you could do anything to fight that, then I'm all for it. I kind of laughed when Heidi had told me, oh, I can never go a day without my Ionics, and I hadn't had it yet. And I laughed at her and thought she was crazy. And we went a weekend away and didn't pack the Ionics packets with us. And I was dying. And so I called Heidi and I was like, okay, you're right. Never going a day without my Ionics again. So pretty much all my moms that are still nursing, I tell them to make their own decision, obviously, but I personally love it and can't imagine not having it. They're pretty much the only thing that's in there that is even conflicting research for our pregnant moms is the ashwagandha. And that's just, there's conflicting results saying that some sources say that it's safe and some sources are saying that they just don't know. But for breastfeeding, the Ayurvedic tradition supports using ashwagandha for our lactation. So pretty much for me, Ionix is a go. And everything else, I know some moms will do the Cleanse for Life and they'll do even just like a nightly cleanse. I personally just haven't tried that yet, but I know tons of moms do it when they're still nursing and they just kind of do the whole pump and dump thing to get rid of all those toxins so you're not giving them the baby. But for me, pretty much there's nothing that for nothing from our nursing and breastfeeding moms that is on the no list for me. So basically get all your pregnant and nursing moms on this stuff as soon as you can because it's so beneficial, and I can't imagine living this crazy life with 2 kids and not having, you know, more than 30 seconds to whip up a shake when they're going crazy during the day. So
That's
is there
awesome.
anything
You are awesome.
else to talk about?
Thank you so much, Jamie. You are awesome. Thank you so much for all those great truth bombs you just dropped on all of us. We're thrilled about your information. Thank you. You did a great job.
Thanks, guys.
And Laura Hargraves is up next, and she's got some quick recognition for everybody.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for your patience. I was having some technical difficulties. I want to do my first recognition for anybody that's in the Charlotte area. It is Monday Night Football. Our Panthers are playing about 6 blocks away, and I swear I can hear it from my house. So keep pounding, Panther Nation. Yay. Okay. For our team shout outs, this is for Betsy, Sandy, Jen, Barb, Chris, and Sherry's team. We had some amazing tasting parties. Noelle Kowalczyk, Dorothy Zevenbergen, Sandy Gilman, and Kelly McGee. Good job. Those parties are so important. They had 11 people attending the Seattle Super Saturday, which is so full of information and amazing. Sandy Gilman also had double pibs this week. Congratulations. There are some serious people attacking these 3-way calls on her team. Kathy Mallett, Noelle Kowalczyk, Sandy Gilman, and Liz Morris. For her enrollments this week, Chris Petrowski, Courtney Roy, Pam McLeland, Monica Hansen, Victoria Fontana, Riley Bedingfield, Mikey Moe, Renee Anderson, and Candy Rodriguez. Go Team Betsy. That's so amazing. Now we're going to move to Janny's team, which also includes Heidi and Chris, Erica, Tylor, and myself. If everybody knows, and I'm sorry if I missed this part earlier, I just want to clarify that Lauren and Heidi are not on the call tonight because they are on the most amazing trip of their lives right now for the President's Quest. And I think they even tried to get here for this call, but they are just learning and living and enjoying their well-earned trip of a lifetime. I can't wait to hear all about it when they return. Anyway, to continue on, we had Joni Allen and Alicia Avis also attending the Seattle Super Saturday. I heard that was a fantastic So Equipping event. Nicole Hutchinson enrolled 3 new people and had her highest cycle week. Congratulations, that's fantastic. For our enrollers, we had Amanda Hargroves, Sarah Manalik, August Manalik, Dr. Jamie Mullen, Nicole Hutchinson, Rachel Hiltz, Tyler Christensen, Jennifer Dufresne, Kim Rice not only had an enrollment, but earned her first Business Builders coupon for those amazing vitamins that we all know are absolutely fantastic. Dr. Jamie Mullen also had a fabulous booth at the Baby Bump Expo in Seattle. She made great connections and is following up on all week. Way to go. So proud of you. Becky Sedlacek also had a tasting party. I actually was a part of that via FaceTime, and she just sat me on her little mantle, and that was a great, fun way to be involved in that tasting party long distance in Omaha. Let's see, Dr. Jamie Mullen and Dr. Sarah Menelik both coming to ICU in Phoenix in November. And I know there are a ton of us shouting out the Queen City again in Charlotte who are attending University in Action in Charlotte. Tons of Jessica's team, as well as our local team here, Joey Allen, Joanna Feltz, Malia D'Amico, Andrea Monte, Krista Cutler, and myself. Lizzie Miller, I have got to give her a shout out. She is the three-way call queen this week. Going back to the University in Action, Becky Sedlacek was also front row. I saw her at UIAKC on David T.S. Wood's live feed. I'm like, oh, there's Becky. That was so great. Ava is my daughter. Yeah, that comes with the territory. Anyway, also for Tylor, she is starting Eric Worre's 20 in 30 days this week. And there are 5 of them doing PK's training. Again, Lizzie Miller-Moss, Jamie Mullen, her mom, and Sarah Menelik. From outstanding Jessica's team, Tuesday, Lee nailed consultant and is hosting a Zoom launch party with Shannon Late. Nikki Severson grabbed consultant status. Congratulations, Nikki. That is fantastic. You are now earning. Andrea Dakeman and Liz Tracy enroll consistently each week, have created an awesome team culture and are planning an event in Avalon, New Jersey. Fantastic. Janelle Grimm and her husband Chad were featured in our top leader spotlight. Way to go, you guys. It's amazing. So great. Misty LeBoy, the rock star, had her highest cycle week ever. And I'm sure that was huge. Woo! Give her a shout. Erin Parker is in top 50 in the company, you guys, in the $1 Million Challenge. Denise Wiggins surprises me never that she had a fantastic segment at a Super Saturday in Virginia where she shared genius on connecting and blew the room away. Not surprised at all. Kelly Verbosch is connecting with many cold market people she's meeting on Facebook and grabbing a ton of new enrollments. That's awesome. Wonderful. Okay, Rafaela and Tom are in massive action and have enrolled, listen to this, you guys, 3 to 4 people a week for the last 4 weeks. Let's give them a hand. Good job. Thank you, guys. That's all the recognition I have for this week. Thanks.
I want to give recognition to the cutest Zoom bomber I ever did today.
Ava.
Serious recognition.
John.
I love it. Laura, I want you to do recognition every week because I thought you killed it. I'm so excited for these people. I need a drink. So in any event, before we do anything else, I want to introduce one of the most fabulous people, one of the girls on our team who brings it. You want to talk about consistency, a born leader with so much natural ability. I want to introduce Jen Flynn to everyone on this call. I'm so excited that she's going to get some camera time and some training time because she's awesome. Jen, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, great. So when Jess asked me to do this, she gave me a couple topics to pick from. And I wanted to kill her because I knew that I had to pick this particular one or she was just going to be disappointed in me. I had to pick building your belief because it's something that I feel like I struggle with so much all the time. And I know that other people do that I'm close with that are on our team. I'm sure all of you at some point have had that issue. So, when I was trying to think about what I was going to talk about, I started looking to a lot of the people from when I first started with the business, who was the people that we were hearing to listen to on podcasts and YouTube. And so I took a lot from Eric Worre and David Woods, because I think that they explain it very nicely for us. So Eric Worre talks about 3 stages of building your belief. And he said that the first one is faith. And, you know, when we start with faith, we actually allow ourselves to picture something happening before it's even happened. And this is huge for us because it's like our vision of what we think. And that leads to our hope stage. That's stage 2. And when you start with this stage, you know, you fill up with hope, you say, this could be possible for me. I think I can do this. And these 2 stages, as they work together, start to really work on building stage 3, which is your belief. But stage 3 is kind of hard because when you get to stage 3 and you're in your belief, it's unshakable. You can't be stopped. It's rock solid. But the problem is, as Eric Worre describes, you have to pretend like you're in belief until you're actually there. You know, it's kind of like fake it till you make it, so to speak. But, you know, the important part of it is that he says that when you are, you know, truly showing this belief, you're building the faith and hope of other people. And that is what we really are trying to do. We need that in order to bring people on this journey with us and to coach them properly. So if you don't have it in yourself, borrow it from other people. The Lord knows that we have tons of people on this team that are supporting us regularly and believing in us when we don't believe in ourselves. So borrow it from someone else if you have to. Another thing that he said is to let go of obstacles. So, you know, we create excuses and we make assumptions about why someone might not want to do it, or, you know, why it might not be for them, but that's really all that they are. They're just excuses or assumptions. We really shouldn't be doing that with anyone. So, you know, what do we do? How do we start working on this? How do we start building our belief? And I loved something that David Woods said. He said, you know, this is really about growing as a person. So he said, Isagenix is a personal development company with a compensation plan attached to it. And this hit home for me so much because all I keep thinking about is when I started this, how much I'm changing and how far I've come, but I know I need to go further, but that's okay because I was afraid of my own shadow. I couldn't make a decision without second guessing myself, and I'm changing my belief in myself as I go along and try and do this. So it's empowering to a certain extent as you continue to grow. Probably the most important things that we can be doing besides sticking to our DMO to build our belief are doing certain things fairly consistently. Reading personal development books. One of my favorite books that I read a couple months ago was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I loved the way she narrated it. I listened to it driving to work, you know, whenever you have the chance to add those extra things into your day. Listening to podcasts, we have tons of them available to us. Using our ISA tools, you know, to build our understanding and our confidence in the products and the compensation plan so that we feel more confident. That helps build your belief. Going to events. I mean, Jess will tell you, I was the hardest. She sat me down and I had a million excuses and I didn't want to leave my kids. And she's like, great, bring your kids with you. Like, what was I going to say to that? I couldn't turn her down. And I was there and it was awesome. And it really does, being around that energy builds your belief in what you're doing. You have so much fun. The energy is outstanding. So I know I got to get some more of those myself. And then another important thing is to not compare yourself to other people. It's hard. You see people doing well. You say, why am I not doing that? What am I doing wrong? And there's no point in doing that because you don't know what's going on in that person's life. You don't know how much more time that they can spend doing this. Just worry about yourself and keep building and trying to improve yourself and help other people. You know, checking your own language, what you say on a daily basis. Listen to yourself. Apparently David Woods has a lot of the people he coaches, he tells them, write it down. If you hear yourself during the day saying words like, I can't, or I don't know if I'm going to be able to, things like that, check yourself. Are you doing that? You know, you could be sabotaging yourself that way. And the people in your environment, are people supporting you? Are they encouraging you? Are you around people that are trying to bring you down? get rid of them if you have to in a nice way, but you don't need toxicity like that in your life. Being consistent, I know that this is something I do try to do even when I don't want to. I try to stick to that DMO. You know, am I reaching out to my free people every day? Am I following up with my free people every day? Am I pouring greatness into people every day? Because even when I don't want to, if I do it, I feel a sense of achievement and I know that I'm working each day. You know, other things that are important, I think, for really building your belief is connecting with your why. Why are you doing this? You know, some people do this and they don't have to do it financially. They do it because they really love helping others, whatever it might be. Connect with that and help that build your belief in everything. And, you know, probably the last thing that I would say is to not be hard on yourself. You know, if you have a bad week and you don't do as much as you want, it's okay. Just get right back into it. There's no sense in beating yourself up over it. And you have to remind yourself you're constantly learning. Consider this a university where you're building a trade and you have to keep working on it. Other people might have done this for years before and they just switched to this company, and so they have skill set. They're you know, they've already learned it, but keep learning. I think that's probably the best part about this, is that we can keep learning something new all the time.
Awesome. You are amazing. And that's a huge way to step outside your comfort zone. And you're a different person than I met a year ago, right? You're a different person. And here's what's beautiful, guys, of what she said. You get paid to become a better version of yourself. When we recite, yes, I can, you may not believe it. But guess what? Don't you start to believe it when you hear yourself saying it, when you get that energy? And that's what you're saying, is you fake it, and you fake this belief. You borrow it from other people. You have faith that you can do it because other people have done it before you. It's not impossible it's only impossible until it's done. And people have done it before you. And why not you? You had Jimmy Smith on, guys, talking about how he did it. Jimmy Smith, in his 80s, in his late 80s, looking you in the eye and going, you've got 10 years to build this and set your whole family free. So many people are willing. I talk to people all the time, I've got 10 more years till I can retire. And when they retire, they might have a tiny pension that's a fraction of what they're making. But I loved what Jen said. I love the building of the faith. And I'm going to train tonight, guys, on a couple different things. What really Isagenix is challenging you to do is have conversations and stepping out with people you've never talked to. And so the first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to challenge us to do it, because Eric Coover made a couple calls, and he called me last week and he was telling me about some of the other things that people are doing in the company. And one of them is, we know launch parties, consistency works, right? We know people that do launch parties and actually, do them enough that they're getting people to come. We know they work. But what he's saying is, in this day and age, people are busy. It's not as easy to get people to come out to a party. So he's recommending that people do Zoom launch parties and keep them to 20 minutes. There's a leader in the company that did one. They had 750 people on the call, 150 guests. And they had his mom do his mom actually did the 15-minute overview. So that's a good way to really pack the lines. But guys, a Zoom. And here's what I was talking to, in recognition, we talked about Tuesday, Lee and Shannon Late doing a Zoom launch party. And here's what we were talking about today. And Shannon said this to me, and I said, oh my gosh, major light bulb. Here's what you're going to do, guys. Everybody should plan a Zoom in the next 7 days. It's a pop-up Zoom. It lasts for 15 to 20 minutes. You have 3 people that are part of your organization share their quick story. And by quick, I mean 2 minutes. And what you say to your friends that aren't on Isagenix is you say, listen, someone challenged me to get 20 people to test out this concept and see if it works. And I know Isagenix may not be for you. It probably isn't. But will you be one of my 20 people? Will you come and just give me your feedback? It's literally going to take 15 minutes of your time, but I want you to test the technology, see if my pitch is on point. Would it resonate with the right people? I know it's not for you. This isn't for you. You're not a prospect. You're just coming on as my friend to give me feedback. God, is that brilliant? Seriously? She's challenging me to get 20 people on. In the next 7 days, you can do it. If you're going to step out and you're going to do what Jen said, you're going to do what Jimmy said, you're going to just say, I'm going to go on faith then I'm going to do it. And I'll tell you what, I know when I was talking to Shannon today, I could tell by our conversation that she was like, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I don't know when. I was like, Shannon, you're going to do it in the next week. She wrote me, she goes, all right, it's scheduled. She has this graphic because that's how you step out in faith. That's how you build this business. That's how you do what Jimmy did. And you build a legacy that impacts your grandkids. So Jimmy will tell you that business of his is so strong and so secure and so reliable that there is a financial wall around his entire family that no one can touch. Can you imagine if you could say that? Can you imagine what it feels like to say there is a financial wall around my family that no one can tear down? We're absolutely bulletproof financially. Can you imagine what that feels like? Well, you can. I'm here to tell you it's been done and you can do it 100%. So that's the first thing is I want to challenge every single person here. You have 7 days. You don't have like, let's think about it. You have 7 days. If you must, team up with one other person. Team up with 2 other people, but do it in the next 7 days. And each one of you says, I was challenged to have 20 people join. It's a 15-minute Zoom call. You're literally doing exactly what you would do in a launch party. It's just condensed and you use Zoom. And when people look you in the eye, they hear the testimonials of other people, they feel the emotion of someone's heart. The 20 people that you have that in your life that have never been interested in Isagenix, be prepared with order forms, guys, because I think it's going to change a little bit of something. All right, let's talk about the numbers. So some people, just from my background, just so you know, I have a little bit of knowledge on what I'm talking about, is people know before Isagenix, I worked for a company that did electronic payments, and I ran network marketing. We paid commissions to people, and Isagenix was my client. In fact, when Isagenix was new, I worked with Patty Raffaella and the Cougars to set up the eCount card. So if you guys remember, before IsaWallet was an eCount card, and then it became a Citibank card. In 2008, we sold eCount to Citibank, and I worked for 4 years running network marketing for Citi globally, doing compensation plans, paying out commissions to people in some of the largest network marketing companies in the world. So I know a little bit about compensation plans, right? So let's talk about Isagenix. So there's a couple different ways. And I used to talk to Janny and go, Janny, I want to go faster. How can I go faster? Here's the number one way you can go faster. You can you can enroll some people, and you can find out why this company could change their life. How much would it take to get you to dedicate your time to it? That's the question that Janny asked me, and she asked Lauren Sims. And she took us both to a multiple 6-figure income in less than 2 years. So I will tell you, that is a good question to ask people. How much would it take to make this worth your time? I always start with the question of, are you open to additional income? Notice that I didn't say, are you open to additional income from Isagenix? Because a lot of people that don't know what they don't know, they're going to say no. Are you open to additional income? And unless you're a knucklehead, you're going to say yes. Okay? I believe every family deserves to have a financial backstop. And you can tell someone your example, but what I often say to people is, my husband's a high school principal. That's a pretty secure job traditionally, right? Teachers and principals, they're secure. Except in the state of education right now, that's not true. For a lot of administrators, that's not true. And people say, I have a great job. Well, I'm glad. I lived through Citibank in 2008. And if you remember what happened to Citibank, there was a government bailout, right, of some of the largest companies in the United States. So no job is secure. I've watched people get laid off from jobs that they gave their life to. They sacrificed their family. So people deserve a financial backstop. But here's how you create growth in your business, is you help people rank advance and you drive the line. You find out, you can't start to do that until you find out why it matters. And when you find out why it matters, you can show them a vision. And so we do that for a lot of people. We show them a vision. And I try, and Janny will tell you, you can try to work with people like deep in the trenches. You can't work with a ton of people. But if you took a person on your left and a person on your right and you ran them to executive, and what you would do is you'd work with every person that they're bringing in. It's called driving the line. When Janny started working with us, She wasn't just working with me. She was working with Janelle and Barb and Denise and Adrian, all the people that are my friends that I had enrolled. She was helping do 3-way calls. She was helping them coordinate launch parties. She was coaching them. We were driving the line. And guess what happened? Every single person I mentioned went executive. She's driving the line. Do you know what kind of volume that brings into your business? 31 people. If you get someone to executive and they just enroll 10 people who each share with 2, that's 31 new people in your business. If 31 new people are on 100 BV auto ship, 3,100 BV into your business on one leg. That's amazing, right? You literally can go to a spin class and look around. Lauren used to tell me this. She would say, look around a spin class. You literally have your executive right there. There's probably 31 people in your spin class. And that's what you look at. But you identify people. And if people ask me, how do you work with people? I mean, I have a couple people that have just hit executive. I have a couple people that are about 2 consultants, 1 consultant away from executive. How do you do that? So here's what I will tell you. If I have someone, there's a couple different ways that you can build this business. When you guys are coaching new people, if you have someone who is what I call a super enroller. A super enroller is enrolling 10 plus people every month. There's a strategy for building those people that you're building down one side. If you are not a super enroller, you're not working with a super enroller, that strategy does not work very well. It will kill you and you will quit. So let me just explain the strategy. Should you encounter, does everybody understand what I'm talking about first? 10 plus enroll, someone who can enroll 10 plus people a month. The first strategy says that you will go down your team leg with your first 5 to 10 people. And how you'll know is that you will, once you get 5 consultants, you will switch to your focus leg. It only works, guys, with a super enroller. And why did we do it? Let's just talk about the math. So Patty and Herb Cepeda, Susan Miller, there are a number of teams who will train on this. I want to make sure people understand it's for super enrollers only, because here's why. Let me explain it to you. You're intentionally suppressing cycles, right? So imagine if you had one on the left and one on the right, and the next 5 to 10 people go down your team leg. You're not cycling, right? Does everybody understand that? You're putting your first 5 to 10 people. As soon as you have 5 consultants, you're switching over to your focus leg. Why do we do it? Because then we are going to sprint to executive. The reason that we do this, guys, is because when you get into the executive pools, your cycles, your benchmark is low. It's 0, 1, maybe 2. But that means you can really do well in the executive pools. If you have someone who's enrolling just at a more irregular cadence, they are going to dry up with motivation because they're not making any money. People that are just regular enrollers that are just like the typical person, I still have them go left, right, because I want them to make money. When people don't make money, when people make money in this business, when they get a card and it starts earning money, they're excited. As fast as possible, I want to get them to executive. They'll still have a low benchmark. So does everybody understand that? If you have a super enroller, talk to someone who understands the strategy of building down one side, because it works. It's awesome. Laura and I both did it, and we both maxed out the executive pools every month we could because we had a 0 benchmark. But if you don't have a super enroller, guys, forget that strategy. Here's the second thing I want to talk about. People ask me about the numbers. So I want to just show you the math. So you're going to want to, if you have a paper and a pen, you're going to want to write this down, because a lot of people ask me about this formula. It's not complicated, but you're going to want to follow. We're going to go slow so we can follow it. So let's say that you're someone who currently is cycling 2 times a week. That's your average. I'd look at your average and go, okay, I'm cycling currently 2 times a week. I want to be a 1-star. Okay, that's 10 cycles. So what you want to do is you want to say, what would it take for me to go from 2 cycles to 10? Here's what you do. The first step is you need to figure out what is the delta. So that means how many more cycles do I need to hit my goal? And in this example, you need 8. So you want to be at 10 and you're at 2. The difference is 8 cycles. That's the difference we need to cover. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 8 by 900. That reason, does everybody understand what the reason is? Because a cycle, 600 and 300 is 900, right? So let's just say this assumes you have no banked volume, You are just going left, right in your business. You need 7,200 BV in your business, right, to cover 8 cycles. What you do now is you divide that by the average cycles, the average BV amount. So cancel that. 7,200, you divide it by the average order, the average BV amount of an order, okay? So the company uses 160. And I think that's a good average, especially a lot of us are pretty new in building. You're gonna skew higher. You might have some value. You're gonna have new people coming in with value packs. You're gonna have people coming in on 30 days, 186 PV. So let's say we divide it by 160. What that's telling us, guys, is that we need 45 new people in our organization. Now what I do is I multiply 45 by 1.2. And the reason I do that, guys, is to account for attrition. Because not everybody's gonna stay, right? We're gonna have some people that go inactive. So that's 54 people. So you need 54 new people. And some people go, oh, 54 people, holy cow, that's a lot of people. Okay, let's think about it. Getting one person to executive is 31 new people in your business. And guess what? Those 54 people can come from anywhere in your organization. They're not from you. You've got 3 consultants, awesome. We've got 3 people helping to row the boat, okay? And then we divide it. And they might have 2 people. So there's a lot, it might just mean 2 people. It might mean everybody in your organization who enrolls, bringing in 2 new people. And that's what it takes. When you break it down into the math is indisputable. So when Jimmy Smith says math doesn't lie, math will tell you what you can do. And there's the math, okay? That's what you need to do. You need to create more executives. And if you want to break it down, I look at how many people if I get this person a director, how many new people does it bring into my business? You know, when you go to when people go to executive, they're enrolling more people that they bring than go to consultant, right? So it's more than 31 people. That's why people fly when they zero in on people and help them nail their goals. There have been times when I'm so widespread, my lens is across everybody. And our team isn't experiencing the growth it is when I'm focused on a couple people and helping them go really deep. And everybody else doing the exact same thing when we duplicate. I see it now on my team. The people that we've gone and we've said, run to executive, that they've gone to executive, and they go and do that for their people as well. And so guys, here's what I will tell you. You get to executive, and what the best advice that you can get is stay executive. Stay executive. Get 2 more consultants on either side. You hit executive and you can do it because you have the kind of faith and belief and conviction that Jen described. Because when you speak it into being, it will happen. You will absolutely be able to create consultants. You will bring people on with their 2. I love Jessica Johnson's advice. If you didn't hear it last week, let's just repeat it. When she talks to someone, she says, we're gonna meet at Starbucks. Bring with 2 more people that have similar goals, 2 more people that wanna hear about this. Create instant consultants. You can do this. And this is just, the impact is the primary. That's the ultimate thing. When you let go and you surrender, but if you wanna look at this from a numbers perspective, you wanna run it like a business, your growth is directly proportionate with the number of people that you impact. And you can break it all down into math. And you can really accelerate and take advantage of the compensation plan. There are so many amazing things. And here's what I will tell you. There is so much on the table in the executive leadership pools. When you get in them, I've seen people quadruple their income. Quadruple. We've got a girl that's earning around $1,100 a week. She's made $5,000 in the pools. So on top of $1,100 a week, by the way, guys, she's been in it since June. Is that unbelievable? She raced right to executive. $1,100 a week is it cycle money. And here we go with $5,000 in the pools. That's amazing. If you were executive, get back to it. Just go and say, I'm in rebuild mode. I know so many people in this company that have went to executive and then they literally have 0 consultants because whatever, lots of life happens. They didn't build a retention strategy. They didn't build onto either side. Go back and go in and say, I'm fully committed, 10 new consultants, here I go. Because there is so much money in the pools. And there's other teams, guys, that don't coach their people to executive. I'm doing an event with some people right now that they don't coach to executive. They just coach people to go to the chase cycles. And that's one strategy, but I think it's short-sighted because I think there's so much money to be made on the table. Here's the other thing I see. I see people get to 5, 6, 7 consultants. They just have a mental block that they can't get to executive and they stay stuck there. Or they went to executive once, they fell back out, and they have 5 consultants now. And they literally in their mind can't wrap their head around that they're stuck. They can't go back. But I will tell you, when you do what Jen Flynn said and you make a decision that it's happening and you 100% believe it, you write it down and you say, this is happening no matter what. Here's the second key to that. You give yourself a date and a timeline. When I told you in the beginning of this call, we're doing the Zoom in 7 days, everybody in their head is like, oh shit. I'm going to be honest with you. I know people say that, right? You can admit it. You'll have to, yeah. Chris has a really good comment. I can't work my computer to see what exactly he's saying, but I like the first part. It's like cleaning the kitchen. Absolutely. So here's the thing. We're going to have to clean the kitchen again. And I hate cleaning the kitchen, but I like it a little bit more every time I do it. I'm going to guess. Yeah, but it's wonderful when it's done. That is for sure. It is. I like that, Chris. You're right. It's like going to the gym, right? You don't love going to the gym until it's done. Then you're like, I'm awesome because I went to the gym. Well, guess what? You're not going to love doing the Zoom call. You're not going to love planning it. You might not like asking your friend to sit in, but when you do it and it's done and you get 10 enrollments from it, you're going to really be glad you did it. And honestly, 10 enrollments could mean executive because you're literally going to help people, show people the vision on why. Because you guys are the best of the best. If you're in Fast Track to Executive, you're the best on our teams, the very best. You need to sit in that and let that stew for a second. Because borrow my belief in you. If you need belief, borrow the belief from Betsy, from Janny, from Lauren. Just borrow it. Because you have the same opportunity, you got the same box, and you are the best of the best. Guys, let's finish up with, that's the homework. I don't think we needed to give you any other homework besides that. That's a big deal. But let's finish up with a good way to start stoking that belief, which is, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Woo! I can. Yes, you can. There you go. You're awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome. Nice seeing all you guys. Bye.
Loved it.